Woke up this morning, feeling the vibe, got my headphones on, ready to thrive. Voices in my ear, lifting me high, upward bound podcast, reaching for the sky. Lessons learned from the deep and wise, personal growth like a sweet surprise. Tune in, turn it up, feel the spark, igniting the fire, lighting the dark.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to the Upward Bound podcast, where real conversations lead to real growth. We're here to help you level up in your life, in your leadership, and your future.
With practical insights, honest conversations, and tools you can actually start applying today.
I'm Jeff Williamson.
I'm McIntosh, and this is the Upward Bound podcast. Jeff, I got to tell you, man, listen. This is an episode that I've been waiting for. Our guest, our friend, who sits at the intersection of human potential and technology that's reshaping literally the world on how we work, how we lead, how we grow. Where do I start with his resume? He's a keynote speaker, executive coach, and one of the most uniquely credentialed individuals that I've ever met as far as the AI space. I mean, can I go on some more?
Come on now, tell
conversation. Come on, this conversation going to challenge the way that you think about everything that you've ever thought. And so, Niel, welcome to Upward Bound Podcast. And man, tell us what's got you fired up right now.
Well, honestly, your intro was incredible. I was like texting a whole bunch of people as soon as we went live. I was sending it out on Facebook, sharing it, sending it to some people. It was like, I love it. That intro had so much energy. I was like, oh, I feel like
let's go.
I'm in the gym, about to get a workout in. All right.
That's right.
Yes. So Niel, listen, man. You used the phrase, we met and talked and had a great time, and we've known each other for a little while here through lots of different mechanisms. You used a phrase that I haven't been able to shake, man. I haven't been able to shake this phrase about putting your potential in motion. And so talk to us about what that actually looks like for lots of the people on the other side of this podcast and literally around the world who have the big dreams, but they don't know what they don't know and can't seem to figure out what the first step is.
Right. So when I absolutely love potential. I appreciate the intro you gave me there, Len. The thing about me, whatever I do, whether it's AI, whether it's martial arts, whatever it is I'm doing, it's all about maximizing human potential. And you've got to understand there's a couple different levels of potential. We'll just talk about two right now. First is static potential. Okay. Now I'm going to use you, Len, because I know you were a football player. You're sitting here, you're a big, strong guy. You have the potential to go and tackle somebody or hit somebody and hit them pretty hard, right?
Yes.
Okay. But imagine if Len was running at full speed.
Come on.
Right? If he's sitting down, that's static potential, meaning he's not moving, but there's the potential to go hit something, right?
Yes.
Now, if Len is running full speed, let's say 10, 20 yards, and Len hits something, oh my goodness, the impact that you have is going to be incredible. And see, I like to call that kinetic potential.
That's good.
Kinetic potential. It's potential in motion. It is potential with movement. You could have static potential sitting here, or you could have kinetic potential in movement. And I think what happens a lot of times, you mentioned, people talk about a dream. They talk about they want to have a goal. They want to lose weight. They want to run a marathon. They want to be a millionaire, whatever it is. The thing that we've got to understand, you can't have $1 million dream and have a minimum wage work ethic. You've got to put some motion. You've got to put some things in movement in order to maximize your potential. Now, I can go on for about 30, 40, 50 minutes here, but I know we're on a podcast, so it's a conversation.
Preach.
Well, mention something that you've done to showcase your kinetic side there. So what does that look like?
So I'll give you a perfect example. my wife is she's visiting her sister-in-law. There's a wedding. She's going there. I couldn't work out yesterday. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to miss a workout. That means I'm going to, and all these things were going through my mind. I said, well, what can I do to kind of make up for that? Well, was fortunate. I was able to find a sitter, watch my kids while I'm gone. The thing is, if I work out early in the morning and my wife is here, so, she kind of watches them or they're all asleep. I found a sitter to come, stay overnight, watch the kids, was able to not only get a workout in, but then go do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I had an incredible morning. I mean, some people are like, oh my gosh, you did all that. For me, it was like exciting because I had I have a goal and I did some things. My mentor likes to say, there's many more ways to get a thing done than there are not to. I think people hit an obstacle, they'll stop. But see, when you really want to achieve something, you're going to look for ways to try to get it done. And it might be something little, it might be something big. I mean, whatever it is, figure out a way, look for ways to get it done. I think we've been so trained to look for ways. When I do consulting for multi-billion-dollar companies, most of the companies I've worked with are Fortune 100 companies. Most of the time you go into a meeting, you're going to hear about 432 things of what's going wrong.
Yeah, that's good.
And I think we get trained of what happens, or if an obstacle happens, we're just going to stop. Remember, kinetic potential is potential in motion. What you do to move towards your goal, towards whatever it is you want to accomplish.
Yeah, that's funny. I remember I was at a conference one time, and they said, hey, well, there's this one room that has a treadmill in it, and it was just nobody wanted it. And I was actually in the middle of marathon training, and I said, well, I'll take it. And I remember that they broke for like an hour because they wanted to grab lunch and network and all that kind of stuff. And I just thought, hey, I'm going to get a quick 5-6 miles in on that hour and just kind of really utilize that here. I had to make sure I had my deodorant and my everything kind of set up there because I didn't have time to shower at the time. But but at the same time, I'm like, I got my run in that I wasn't, I was really kind of struggling with. How can I get my 5 or 6 in? And I mean, that's a great point there. It's like you kind of plan to the level of your systems.
That's it.
And if your systems are broken down, and you're like, well, I don't know, or that country song, if you don't know what you stand for, you fall for anything. And, so it's that idea that, hey, I want to make sure that I'm going to be maximizing my time. But, I think a lot of people have that moment where they say, I want more for my life, or, I've got this dream, right? And, but after the excitement fades, Niel, what's that next step? Where do people usually get stuck?
I think I was just sharing, I was speaking at a nonprofit group last week down in Tennessee. And what I was telling them is, sometimes the hardest part of getting started is getting started.
Oh,
that's right?
Good. To borrow from physics again, one of the hardest things to do is break inertia, right? Inertia is either something is sitting still or it's going in one direction and you want to break it in a different direction. I think most of us, we have our rhythm. We have our, as you mentioned, systems. We have the way we do things from the time we get up, take the kids to soccer, whatever it is we do. And I think it's very hard. We've been so conditioned to what we do every day. It's so hard for us to picture doing something different. Mm-hmm. And the number one thing people will say, I don't have time. And absolutely, people are busy. We have our jobs, we have our families, our responsibilities, what have you. One of my favorite performance psychologists, his name is James Lair. I remember reading his book on the way to college down way back. I'm not going to date myself, but way back when, years ago, it was all about mental toughness. And he was one of the first people to have performance psychology. And one of the things he talked about was there really is no such thing as time management.
No.
And let me explain that. So, for example, if you're Warren Buffett, if you are LeBron James, if you are, for example, Sam Altman, who is the CEO of OpenAI or ChatGPT.
Yeah.
All of us have 24 hours in a day, right?
That's right.
365. We cannot stop time. None of us can, right?
That's right.
What we can do is what manage our energy, our potential within those 24 hours. What are we doing each and every day? And again, we've become so conditioned to what we do, it's hard to see something different. I see this all the time. You know, I'm considered a transformation consultant, a transformation architect. Most people are so indoctrinated in their corporate culture, their communities, their homes, whatever it is. It's so hard for them to see. So I tell people, instead of trying to do this big, humongous thing, instead of trying to be a millionaire tomorrow, instead of trying to run a marathon like you did, Jeff, don't try to run 26.3 miles all at once.
That's right.
Right.
Can you walk around the block?
Yes. Yeah.
Can you save $100 a month?
Yeah.
Can you be a little nicer to your children? You know, just pick 3 things to say something nice to your kids or your coworkers or whatever. Pick some small things to do. You know, the title of this podcast, it was "Don't Do Nothing, Do Something."
That's
and I
right.
think that's where we get stuck. We want to do this big, humongous, grand thing, but really, let's just start small.
Yeah.
You know, and that reminds me of one of my favorite books, The One Thing by Gary Keller. And, I'm going to give the spoiler alert right now, but the entire book is around the idea of what's the one thing you can do now that's going to make things either otherwise easier or otherwise unnecessary. And whatever that one thing is, it's the idea there's a priority, not priorities. You have to have that focus on what that one thing is. And once you know what that is, just really gravitate around it. And if I want to run another marathon, and I don't, but if I did, I'm not going to be having chips in my house. I'm not going to have, different, whatever, just unhealthy foods. I'm going to have, great running shoes, and I'm going to have, accountability with a good running partner, things like that. That's going to help me move that needle. Otherwise, a dream or a big idea, a dream that's unrealized just becomes a wish then. And it's just unfulfilled, different things in our life that we say, I wish I did this, and that causes regret. So that was strong, Neil. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And Neil, as you were talking, I was thinking of the old couch to 5K, right?
Oh,
folks used to start somewhere, but you had to start somewhere with those baby steps. And Jeff and I just came out of a several month long study from John Maxwell's book called Today Matters.
That's
and
right.
So often people are like overestimating what they can do tomorrow, right? And so procrastination probably kind of sets in there. It's like, I'll start that routine tomorrow just because, and they keep pushing it down and pushing it down. And often, I feel like sometimes, Neil, until trouble happens in our life, right? That forces us. We get the diagnosis from the doctor that we're pre-diabetic or diabetic, or we get, the message from our wife that, hey, our marriage is in trouble, or our kids are, struggling in school, that it takes like trouble in order to start somewhere. What you say to that, Neil?
When you said that, Len, it really, and Jeff, first of all, Jeff, congratulations on running a marathon. That's incredible. So anybody who does that, I don't care where they finish. I don't care if, they're crawling to the finish line. That's an incredible achievement.
I was pretty close.
So, Len, when I was hearing you talk, I thought about Tony Robbins loves to say this. He likes to say, change happens when the pain of change.
That's right.
The pain of change is
same,
less than the pain of staying the same.
I love it.
Right.
I love it.
You see this in companies all the time.
Yeah.
And say that again. That was good.
Change happens when the pain of change is less than the pain of staying the same.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Most famous example, Blockbuster, right? They had the guy who owned Netflix sat in the CEO of Blockbuster's office and said, hey, what about this? And the CEO actually wanted to do it, but the board said, no, we make all our money on late fees, right?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't see the future. They saw the right now.
That's right.
And the ability change is hard. Let's just say it like that.
Come on.
Change is absolutely hard. But what we have to do, and Jeff, I love what you said about, focus on one thing. Again, to quote Tony Robbins again, he says, where your focus goes, your energy flows. I try to work with company. I had a gentleman. He was a senior architect or a senior manager at this company, and he said, "Neil, what would you do with 300 people?" Because he was asking me, because he had an organization, or we're talking about an organization of 300 people, a department of 300 people, and he said, "I bet you could do a lot with 300 people." I said, "Yes, I absolutely could, but I'm not going to have them do 300 different things. What I'm going to have them do is really focus in and hone in on things. Because if we're constantly trying to do different things, you're never going to get anything done. Yeah. But if you can focus on one thing you want to change, right? A lot of people have so many dreams. It's like, okay, well, where do I start? Well, start with one. Pick one.
That's right.
Pick one and work towards that. And I believe if you can pick that one, and I'm really big. My son, every morning before he's about 10 years old, when he wakes up, I tell him to read, and then I tell him to write.
That's it.
What do I write on? I want you to write on all the great things that happened the day before, right? Before you go turn on YouTube, before you go turn on the TV, you are reading and you are writing. My point is, write down things you did. Hey, I walked 5 minutes today. Great. Yeah. Hey, I saved $20.
That's
fantastic. Pick one thing, and then let's work on the small things, right?
Yeah.
And I think once you start doing that, it's like then you start building that kinetic potential because you're moving.
That's right. Good. I mean, so good, Neil, as you're talking, man. It's like that one one word challenge, that one. So much of our world revolves around that. And so you talked in our pre-meet about being deliberate in practice, right? And actually leaning into the things that you're not normally strong in. So that's easy for me to agree with on some levels, but hard often to live out, Neil. I mean, you're a disciplined guy. And so, discipline seems to come pretty easy to you. But why do you think so many of us, come on, Neil, can we just have a moment?
Let's find out.
Hey, come on. Why do you think so many of us are circling around our weak spots instead of going like straight at them, Neil?
The funny thing is Anders Ericsson, it's ironic. He was an expert on how people become experts, right? He's the one that came up with the 10,000 hour rule, even though that's a little debatable there. But the point is, one thing he said is that you've got to work on things that you don't do well.
Come on. That's good.
And for me, like studying Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is something I don't do well. I'm not naturally a great athlete. I don't have great kinesthetic awareness. I don't, and getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to drive half an hour to get to the gym and then get smashed by guys.
Wow.
It's not comfortable.
Yeah.
It is not comfortable. But one of my first instructors said, you know how you progress, you know how you get better at jiu-jitsu? I'm like, wow, we're waiting for some kind of ninja secret he was going to give us.
Yeah.
He said, just keep showing up.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Keep showing up.
Consistency
kills.
That's right.
Consistency kills. And I think the hard thing, to answer your question, Len, why is it so hard for us? Again, we're so into our status quo.
That's right.
There's a quote by Edwards Deming, and he was sent by the United States to Japan to help them post-World War II. And he created some principles that actually laid down the foundation for the Toyota production system, which laid the foundation for what we call lean manufacturing and so many other different disciplines. But one of the things he said that always stuck with me, your system is perfectly designed to give you the results you're getting.
That's so good. Yes.
Your system is perfectly designed to give you the results you're getting. See, it's easy for us. We don't have to expend as much energy if we're in our daily mode, if we're in our status quo, if we're in our typical quote unquote system, right?
Yeah.
And systems are not bad, right? You want to put your keys in the one place. At our house, we have no idea where the remote is, right? I've got several kids running around. I wish we had a system where we just put the remote in one spot. But anyway,
that's it.
Systems are good.
Quit throwing jabs at me, Neil.
I'm
talking about my house. But if you don't like your outcomes, you've got to look at your systems.
Yeah.
When I was sharing,
let me ask you something with that here. I want to jump in here. So you said your system is perfectly designed to get the results that you're getting, and man, that hits hard. Okay, so I want to make sure that we really marinate around this part here. So but how can someone really take an inward, honest look at their habits and routines without getting discouraged? I mean, if we want to make a paradigm shift in our life, if we want to do something that's, something, more grandiose than moving a remote or put keys where they belong, but we want to make a life change, discouragement's going to set in here because, I tried playing tennis here and some of the fellas, will be watching in and they'll make fun of me for it because I still am not a great tennis player, but I still push forward. So, I'm discouraged, but not as much. But what are your thoughts around that discouragement?
Well, two things. Number one, we have to be, I like to call it being a proactive, realistic optimist.
Yeah.
You want to be proactive, let's say tennis. You're out there playing tennis, that's proactive, right?
Yeah.
Let's be realistic. Probably not going to win Wimbledon, right?
No, not this year for sure.
Not this year. But the optimistic part is, what are those small wins? What are those small wins? And see, when you get those small wins, start writing them down.
That's
see,
good.
I think you talked about getting discouraged, and we all do it, right? We have a negative bias. Our brains, due to survival, due to having to be hunter-gatherers, all those things, we're always looking for threats. We're always looking for something that could be negative towards us, right? I mean, and I don't get political, but if during election time, it's a smear campaign. The reason they do that, it's psychologically, it sticks with people. They remember the negative more than they do the positive.
That's right.
And so it's easy to get discouraged, to your point. But what we've got to do is we've got to train ourselves to look for small wins. What does a small win look like? A small win can be, hey, somebody came up to me at work and said, nice job.
Yeah.
Right. That's good.
A small win can be, it took me 3 hours to work on this Excel spreadsheet. I got it done in 2.5.
Wow.
Great. We have to train our brains to look for that. And the second thing is, you got to have good people around you.
Yeah.
You have to have cheerleading. You have to have people they're going to be honest with you, but they're also going to tell you, their honesty is, hey, this may not look so great now, but here's what you can do to get better.
That's good. That's good.
Negative criticism is just, we're not trying to help somebody get better. Positive criticism is, these are some weak areas, but here's how we can get better together, right?
Yeah.
You need people like that, people like yourselves. I know you guys mentor and coach a lot of different people, but you need people like that to help encourage you, to keep you going. Otherwise, you're going to get discouraged, and guess what? You're not accountable to anybody. It's easy to just kind of slip into oblivion, right?
That's good.
That's why your circle of influence is so important.
Yeah.
So important.
Yeah. Hey, as you were talking, Neil, I heard two things. Number one, don't despise small beginnings, right?
That's right.
Come on. And then number two,
absolutely.
Come on. And then number two, that everybody needs a cheerleader, a fan, and a coach, right? Everybody needs that on their team, Neil. And so, man, this has been so rich. And so, Neil, real quick, there was a couple of things that you touched on about desire, perspective, and agency. Could you just touch on one of those before we kind of bring this plane in for a landing? Just one of those, Neil. Which one of those sticks out for you, or would help people out?
We've only got 7 minutes, and you brought up three things that could be an entire hour-long keynote talk, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about desire.
Yeah.
I think when we think about desire, we think of, I'm going to do all this, and I need all this passion and energy and everything. People ask me they're shocked when I tell them I don't even drink coffee.
Yes.
Right? For me, desire can be kind of like what we were talking about. Desire doesn't have to be this big, huge, overwhelming, consuming, obsessive thing. Desire can be, I got to make one change in my life. When I was talking with this nonprofit last week, I said, okay, what are you guys going to do tomorrow? Okay. Monday, when you wake up, what will you do tomorrow that's going to be different than what you did today or yesterday or what have you?
Yeah. What's your one thing?
That's it.
One thing. Remember, kinetic potential is potential that's moving. What's a small little thing that you can do? And then you know what? Oh, that's a win. I did it. It might have been 5 minutes. It might have been I saved myself 15 minutes going a different route to work. Whatever that is.
Good.
Oh, okay, cool. Great. And then, you start getting this, oh, okay, you get that dopamine hit. You're like, let me look for other ways I can get that.
That's good.
Start small. Your desire doesn't have to be, you don't have to be this big grandiose thing. You don't have to be Michael Jordan. You don't have to, have this big fire. Just start with something small. Write that down as a win and then keep stacking wins.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Hey, Niel, as we're bringing this thing in for a landing, man, listen, I feel like somebody has lost their why. I mean, we're talking about all of this stuff, right? Start. But maybe hope has been snatched from them. That they just, I hear you, Niel, but I've lost my why. I've lost my job. AI is taking my job. I've lost my marriage. I've lost my family, child, whatever the situation is. Gives the people on the other side of this some hope as to the why, man, as we close out today.
So I will say this, Daniel Pink in his book, Drive, which is a fantastic book, he talks about there are three main motivations for people. One is autonomy. We nobody wants a micromanager. We want to feel like we're making our choices. 2, mastery. We feel like we're getting better. That's kind of like look for the small wins.
Yeah.
And the third thing he talked about was purpose. And I think where we lose hope, where things get a little cloudy, is when we feel like we don't have a sense of purpose. We don't feel like we're part of something bigger than ourselves. We don't feel like, our lives may have been this. Our lives may have been our jobs or our marriage or, whatever that thing is. And trust me, fellas, I went through a bankruptcy myself. So I get it, right? I remember those nights crying at home, sleeping, crying myself to sleep every night. I remember I was telling this one group, I had so many bills come in. The post office had to say, can you please empty your mailbox? We can't put any more in there. And I was like, well, that's the whole point, right? But I think what we have to understand is this. We are here for a reason. I firmly believe that. That's just I call it the NIV, the Niel inspired version.
I love it.
We're here for a reason. We're here for a purpose. Personally, I fundamentally believe in the power of human potential. I believe each and every person has potential, has ability, has a purpose, has a reason why. We just may need some help getting there. And I really encourage, if you're listening to this podcast, please direct message some of these gentlemen, myself, what have you, whatever, and get to talking to somebody, because oftentimes it's just a matter of perspective. Yeah. We may not be able to see things, but you know what? I've been very fortunate. I've had a lot of people who saw more in me than I saw in myself.
Come on.
Yeah. That's
so good. So good.
And one of the things that, I know the three of us here being Maxwell coaches, one of the things that John Maxwell talks about, it's the power of 24. And I think in our culture today, we're so driven for accomplishment and achievement and things like that. And when things don't go our way, we will fret and we feel, down in the dumps, kicking the can. But what John says is, hey, do that, but do that for 24 hours, no more than that. But he said on the other side of the coin, when things go well, when we're talking about these things, when we're talking about doing something, it's just celebrate for 24 hours. And I'm talking to myself more than anybody. It's recognizing, hey, we're in a space where, this is good. You're on the right track. Yes, you actually returned that tennis ball from the guy that hit it at you. Or you got off the couch to run that 5K. That's a start. So celebrate those triggers and those change of behavior. Because if we just stay in that 24 hour or even longer negative space here, it just gets nasty. But, as we finish up here, if this episode helped you out, don't just listen to it, use it, share it with someone else. Take just one idea, as Niel said, just one idea, and act on it this week, today. Also share this with someone who needs it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep leveling up.
That's good. And remember, potential that stays still isn't destiny. It's just possibility. And wherever you are right now, that's not the end of your story.
Yeah.
That's just your current chapter. So if today's conversation stirs something in you, reach out to us. Our information is down below in the comment section. We'd love to partner with you to your destiny. Until the next time, we'll see you again. Keep rising, keep leading, and keep moving forward. We'll see you next time.
Woke up this morning, feeling the vibe, got my headphones on, ready to thrive. Voices in my ear, lifting me high, upward bound, put tasks, reaching for the sky.